got mail.
But I had to return it because it would not launch on my
Good
computer.
morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computer Studio now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour or so, along with Katie.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Nick is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Spence is here.
Greetings.
Good morning. And Gal is here. All the way
Shalom,
from
shalom.
He's
Shalom.
here from far away.
all the way from across the pond.
What's the
hello.
delay? Like if I say Gal, hello, are you able to hear me?
You can't hear.
He's
Me.
ignoring
Hello.
Wow, amazing.
All right. Our number is 561-518-9773. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear.
It's also made possible by photons.
By us. By
Without
you-
photons,
No.
Gal would not be there almost with no
Yeah.
delay.
Yep.
Well, mostly, what's it called? Cosmic ray filtering, right? So
Yeah.
Amnon, I brought up this topic when we were chatting in our little pre-show. I've been watching a bunch of CES content. And for folks that aren't familiar, CES is like the big electronic show. It's in years past, not as much anymore, where
Consumer electronic.
consumer electronics show. And in the past, it's been where, years past, 3D TVs and all of this stuff is first really introduced like publicly, where people can actually see and touch this stuff with their eyes or physically touch it with their hands. And it just seems like this model, and it never really recovered from COVID, and it's just like it's dead. There's like a bunch of Instagram influencers, some YouTube guys, and that's about it. And it sucks. The trade shows are, Spence, you spend a lot of time at trade shows in your career.
Oh, yeah.
They're cool things to go to. The networking is amazing, to meet people that you would otherwise not probably be able to interact with one-on-one. And it just seems like that era of, and it's not just electronics, it's in, I think, a lot of sectors. There's big dental conventions that take place every year, and auto mechanic, and pizza and food conventions. It seems like this stuff is just dead after COVID, and that sucks.
Yeah. We used to go to the next major show after the World of Cement was in Vegas. And it was unbelievable. Just watching them take it apart. Because obviously cement is heavy. They bring in all this stuff. And we would make fun of it because, we start stuff, we can, come in with a rolling cart, and that's all we need.
Nick, you used to go there every year.
Yeah, I mean, I went to NAB, the National Association of
that NAB,
Broadcasters
yeah.
show, a couple times, and I went a little bit later. I went, I think it would have been 2018, 2019, so 2 years before COVID. That show was already dying because,
Internet.
broadcasting is a traditional broadcasting is more of a dying medium. So that show was already far less exciting than it used to be. But CES still was holding on. There was still a big emphasis. And then while I was talking about this, I just came across a post on the Linus Tech Tips subreddit, and there's a post about the same thing. And the first comment is, there's very little exciting consumer tech coming out this year. And then maybe that's part of it as well.
Huh?
about the main question to ask is why, right? Why has the few years past been uninteresting?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a hybrid of uninteresting and just maybe too expensive. I mean, the one nice thing about most of these shows are in Vegas. Vegas is not the most expensive place to be because there are so many hotels. I mean, I don't even know. What's there? 150, 250,000 hotel rooms. I mean, God only knows what the number is. Millions, maybe. I'm not sure. So it's a pretty cheap place to go. There's a lot of flights there from most of the United States. So it's not like you're going to Midtown Manhattan. So I don't know about the cost. I mean, it's always expensive to travel, but I don't know that it's outsized expense to go to Vegas. I think
Vegas
I don't think
actually
that's true.
subsidizes flights,
I'm sure they do.
cost of flights to get people to go. I don't know what else they subsidize, but they do.
You can stay out there. I mean, you're not staying at the nicest hotel, but you can stay at a relatively nice Vegas hotel for no more than $250 or $300 a night, which is average at a hotel. I mean, if you go to Raleigh and stay at a hotel in Cary, it's going to be $250 a night too.
Right, but there's something to your point. It is quite cheap to get from anywhere in the States, but that also infers that the trade show floor will be filled with US based activity, right?
Sure.
With manufacturers from the US, with products that originate from the US. And if that's not happening, then like if that scene is being reduced, then maybe that's the reason.
Well, and it is predominantly, well, not predominantly, there is more US because there is a much larger tech show that takes some place in, is it Germany
Germany,
or somewhere?
yeah.
There's a huge European tech show. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but that also takes place every year, and tends to be a little bit more well attended, at least from what I've seen.
So
maybe that's the key.
Yeah, that could be very true.
So talking about CES, it isn't just about shiny new gadgets. As AP reports, this year brought back the 5th annual Worst in Show Anti Awards,
Okay.
calling out the most harmful, wasteful, invasive, and unfixable tech at the Las Vegas show. The coalition behind the awards, that includes Repair.org, iFixit, EFF, Purge, Secure Repair, and others, put the spotlights on products that miss the point of innovation and make life worse for users. So 2026 Worst in Show winners include the overall and repairability. That's the categories. Samsung AI-packed family hub fridge. Over-engineered, hard to fix, and trying to do everything but keep food cold.
What was it called? The Samsung AI
Samsung
fridge?
AI-packed family hub fridge.
Jeez.
So it's the only way to talk to your kids is by talking to them when they're standing in front of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Right?
In privacy, Amazon.
Holy crap, this thing is expensive.
Well, in privacy, it's Amazon Ring AI, expanding surveillance with features like facial recognition and mobile towers. And in the category of who asked for this is Bosch Personal AI Barista, a voice assistant coffee maker that nobody really wanted. I mean,
But, you know,
the companies are trying to come up with new stuff that will grab, maybe send a trend or something. You
yeah,
can't
but listen
blame
to
them.
there's one thing that you just said in all three of those
Mhm.
with a fridge, a doorbell, and a freaking coffee maker.
Yeah.
You said the word AI with every single
Right,
one of them.
that's right.
And because that's the trend. That's still,
Yeah.
I know we kind of roll our eyes at it because it's ridiculous, but for the broad public, this is what I thought blockchain / Bitcoin / cryptocurrency was going to be, where there was a period of time where somebody was doing something with blockchain, but AI
Right.
did that in a much more extraordinarily larger fashion.
How come we never got the AI blockchain?
Oh God.
I'm sure IBM's working on it. I'm sure I'll be watching football today and I'll see a commercial, some Watson commercial about how they've incorporated AI and blockchain or some nonsense like that.
Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and say, AI, handle my investments for me. See you later.
Yeah,
I think
it's-
this whole thing is fatigue. people are tired of hearing the word AI. They're tired of all this technology doing stuff extra when they really just want their food to be cold.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a you and I feel like that's a you and I thing. That's like the
guess.
people in the know. Like, does the grandma who's watching television, is she fatigued by it? My guess is probably no, because she probably doesn't have anything that is even AI to begin with. Like,
Did you see?
I don't know.
Did you see the Dell story about XPS is coming back?
Yeah.
They
Oh, the
revived the
XPS line?
brand, and why
Yeah.
did they do it? It says just over a year from their getting rid of the iconic brand, Dell has brought it back and ditched any kind of AI labeling.
So maybe the sentiment is, maybe the anti-AI sentiment is in fact starting to build, and
Yep.
they're hopping
They're,
on it.
they're adding, there are physical buttons, they said, on this thing to press.
Interesting.
And Nick, the grandma that you talked about,
Yeah.
she probably is not tired of it because she goes, "Aye."
Possibly. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about it in that way, Emma. Thank you for always keeping me well grounded to what's going on.
But anyway, talk about AI. Experts interviewed by NBC News warn that the rapid spread of AI generated images and videos is accelerating an online trust breakdown, especially during fast moving news events where context is scarce.
Yep.
President Donald Trump's Venezuela operation almost immediately spurred the spread of AI generated images, old videos, and altered photos across social media. On Wednesday, after an immigration and custom enforcement officer fatally shot a woman in her car, many online circulated a fake, most likely AI edited image of the scene that appeared to be based on real video. Others used AI in attempts to digitally remove the mask of the ICE officer who shot her. I mean,
Okay. Let me say this though.
yeah.
Yes, obviously there is a growing concern with with things that can be created with AI in these fast moving situations, but I don't want to sit here and pretend that prior to AI this wasn't an issue. I mean, I vividly remember, and this is back before COVID, whenever Russia invaded Ukraine, what was that, like 2019 or something like that? Or no, but maybe it wasn't Russia and Ukraine. It was something going on in Europe or overseas. There was a Sky News or BBC was running footage of what they called the war, and it was Arma, the video game, Arma gameplay from like something like that. And they were, as typical with news, they run a clip kind of over and over and over again, and their analysts and pundits talk over it. They were running video game footage of a battle taking place that people said, hold on a second, this is from the trailer for the video game, and they matched it up.
Yeah.
So like that wasn't AI, that was just crappy citing and sourcing of news. So yes, there is concern with creating AI images that look real, but this has been a long time problem in news and in information of getting something out first. And yes, it is exacerbated by social media. Legacy media now has to not only get it right, but try and compete with some random Twitter account that claims they've got the information. So it definitely adds to it, but this has been going on for a long time of bad information, false information, old video footage, old pictures being attributed to something now. That's not brand new. It's just not.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find where that was.
While you're looking, Craigslist. Craigslist, the 30-year-old classified site that looks virtually unchanged since the dial-up era, continues to draw more than 105 million monthly users and remains enormously profitable despite never spending a cent on advertising or marketing. The site ranks as the 40th most popular website in the United States, according to internet data company SimilarWeb. And it's true. I mean, if I look for something, first I go to Craigslist to see if there's anything local that somebody is offering. And when you look for something, that's the results you're going to get. When you go to Marketplace, it's all over the place.
What do you mean?
Okay, I want to find things 10 miles from here, and it's going to have to be a Brother this model. Yeah, some of them are, but most of them are not. And they
When
are
you say-
like in Maryland.
When you say now, do they? Oh, so they're out of. You're talking about they're geographically out of the region.
Yeah, geographically.
You can turn that off.
Not
I just
just
did that recently.
geographically. If I look for Brother 1234, model 1234,
Mhm.
they give me all kind of different models. No, I'm trying to find one, and you have to wade through
That's
it.
fair.
Yeah,
But I mean, eBay's just as bad. I mean, you can go to eBay and search for Brother 1234, and you'll see 6 sponsored listings that are a different model. I mean, it's a problem there too.
But Craigslist does a much better job of organizing and presenting because they don't have any, there's no video, there's no graphics, right? It's just listings. And so you go to Facebook Marketplace, it's so much of it is trash or so much of it's fake. $200 for, a new car. What do they expect to get out of that?
I'm going to be honest. I didn't know anybody was still using Craigslist.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I assumed, you know what they say about that. I assumed that Facebook Marketplace just decapitated Craigslist. I'm going to check locally. I didn't even know that was. I mean, I knew it still existed. I just didn't think anybody was using it.
You're right. If you go there, if you look for something that's not like a car or services, there may be 2 or 3 of them. But then you go to Marketplace, and it's hundreds of them. But among those hundreds, there may be, I don't know how many, things that you actually ask for.
It looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it never
you go
changed.
there and it's just a listing.
Yeah. Well, that's what
I'm
it's
surprised. There's a decent amount of stuff on the Wilmington computer section in Craigslist. That I'm pretty surprised by that.
I'm not surprised because I think this falls into the same thing we were discussing with the AI fatigue, or I was discussing. It's like Facebook is so bloated. eBay has gotten bloated too. There's like so much where Craigslist is constant. It stayed the same. There's familiarity. It's not trying to shove things down your throat, and people like that. They like the simplicity and the reliability of that.
I wonder, and I would suspect it's probably a large percentage. There's probably a lot of cross-posting going on. I mean, if you're trying to sell something, you're listing it on Craigslist and Marketplace, and it's probably selling quicker on Marketplace than it is on Craigslist because there's a much larger user base.
Yeah,
would be my thought.
Nick, I found your next car on Craigslist.
What you got for me?
It's a 1966 Ford Galaxy 500 convertible.
What's that? What do they want for it?
It doesn't have a price.
Oh.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I take it back. I looked in the wrong place. $2,000. I don't know if it runs. The tires have air in them, so that's all I can say.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm on just for sale now on the Wilmington Craigslist. There is a lot of just garbage on here. People are just selling literal broken CD players. Like, what the hell? Why are you broken? It's a broken coffee maker. Why are you selling this on
for parts?
Craigslist?
I guess, I don't know.
It's a coffee maker. What do you mean 4 parts?
I don't know.
Go to Walmart and you get a coffee maker for $8.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a 4 parts business.
You know that there's people that are like, I only use this coffee machine. It was built in the 90s, and I need replacement parts.
I agree. If this was like but it's not. This is not a vintage coffee. This is just a black Hampton Bay coffee maker that is like built to break and be thrown into a landfill. Like this is not a high dollar expensive item.
No.
Yes.
No, Nick, they don't make them that way anymore.
What, cheap Chinese injection molded garbage? I guarantee you they still make it that way.
No, it's expensive, shiny injection molded garbage.
And
like what? There's some crazy shit on Craigslist. Somebody has a chicken coop on the back of a trailer.
Nick found another
Another hobby.
site. Yeah, another site.
I mean,
that he's
what is this thing? It's like a chicken coop that's got like these wheels with a trailer hitch. What are we doing here? What's going on?
They probably move it around for the chickens to go out somewhere. Yeah.
You take the chickens to the store.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess
they're not lonely chickens.
I'm gonna start looking at Craigslist and see if anything interesting pops up.
Unfortunately, I got rid of some Volkswagen stuff. I could have sold individual pistons
More, yeah.
to a Volkswagen engine and connecting rods and things like that.
Yeah.
Bad.
But see, this always comes back to, and I kind of struggle with this a lot. What is it worth to sell and list this stuff? I mean, that's always what it comes down to is, yeah, it's great if you can, it's great if you can part with something for, let's just say $15. Is it worth the hassle? That's always what it is of, oh yeah, this is the time that we're going to meet up, or this is the time that you're going to come pick it up, and then they don't. And then you have to relist it, and then you're arguing. Like, that's always been the issue with this stuff, minus eBay, where it's a set auction, winner takes it. If it doesn't sell, you don't put in any real work or effort to it. That's been my frustration with Marketplace as of late.
But to tie in with our previous topic, right? You hook up an AI agent to a Craigslist, and suddenly you have something that auto generates content, auto creates reach out for is it available, and you got a new ecosystem going on. It's the new Craigslist, man.
Yeah.
No.
I know some people that are big Marketplace people. I'm not quick enough to the trigger. You apparently got to be on this thing like all day to get something.
Yeah, because there's so many people.
Yeah.
Anyway, Amazon is now requiring its corporate employees to submit a list of 3 to 5 accomplishments that represent their best work as part of an overhauled performance review process, according to Business Insider. So it's almost like they're asking the employees to do their own evaluation.
Well, sounds more like they're going to interview their employees for their jobs.
Okay.
That's pretty much what they ask an interviewee when he comes in for a new job.
Yeah.
Right. So it actually sounds like, okay, let's see if we keep you.
Yeah, they're about to have layoffs again.
It's interesting how things change. Let's see. What else is here? Oh, here, something that's good for maybe good for all of us. The Federal Communications Commission plans to authorize the new category of wireless devices in the 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi band. They will be permitted to operate at higher power levels than currently allowed. The FCC will also consider authorizing higher power levels for certain wireless devices that are only allowed to operate indoors. The FCC said it scheduled a vote for its January 29th meeting on an order to create a new category of unlicensed devices that can operate outdoors and at higher power than previously authorized devices. The so-called geofenced variable power, GVP, devices operating on the 6 gigahertz band will support higher data rates suitable for AR/VR. I don't know what that stands for.
Virtual reality, for like wireless headsets and stuff like that for VR.
Short-range hotspots, automation, and indoor navigation, and overcome limitation of previous devices classes by allowing higher power and outdoor mobility. They will be required to work with geofencing system to avoid interference with fixed microwave links and radio astronomy observatories. Maybe that will be the end of what do we call them? Hot access points. You'll be able to get a router, put it in the house, and really it will reach everywhere with great. I mean, if they're going to raise it by 1 watt, I don't know how much that's going to do.
Well, most of the stuff's not even a watt, so could be significant.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking CBs for
The
watts.
moment you go up, the thing is, the moment you go up in frequency, you must use more power because otherwise,
Absolutely.
because the range drops. So it's all physics here. There's nothing much interesting in what they're describing other than, okay, Bluetooth is gonna be stronger or faster. I don't know.
The big thing though that Amnon mentioned in that article, it would be VR, because the one of the things that I think has hampered VR, and Steam is changing this with their new VR system that's not out yet, but they've demoed and have announced, is that it has to be wireless, right? I mean, nobody wants to have a tethered cable. It just kind of defeats the entire purpose. And so
the only successful VR headset was the Quest, and it was
because it
because
was
wireless.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, nobody wants to have some cord tethered to them. So,
Agreed.
with that market could be huge, and it'd be big for the VR companies, because the only way you're getting data and that stuff, in the way that it's actually interesting, the way that Steam is doing their new wireless VR is it actually has two different radios. There's a 6 gigahertz radio link that is just for the video link, and then there's a separate 2.4 gigahertz link that is for data. So they've split it off so that that it's a guaranteed channel, guaranteed link for the video, which obviously needs to be prioritized, and then another secondary link for everything else.
So is the 6 gig proprietary?
No, but it's the way that where they've got a proprietary dongle that you use that's got both of those radios in it, so that they can chat at the same time, which typically you would not have if you're sharing one radio. Everything's got to wait for the next thing to happen.
I remember back in my days of doing smart desktops and all that, we were looking at all these different near field technologies, they call it. And one of the things they were working on was having each desktop would have its own receiver and transmitters. You walk up, you have a fob that would identify you, and it would become your environment automatically. Everything would switch. The monitors would be yours. Everything, your phone would be yours. Hot desking automatically. But it was the near field stuff that made it so fascinating, was that they had relatively high speed within a short distance. It was like a 5-foot range.
I remember NFC, not when it first came out, but when it first was starting to get popular, I bought a bunch of little NFC tags. It never seemed to really take off, and now it's used for, really the only use case you see for it is like the tap pay at grocery stores and convenience stores. That's like the major use case. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw NFC in the wild outside of a payment terminal. It just doesn't exist.
Well, tags, store tags has been using that.
Yeah, but like there was a period of time, like in like 2010, 2011, 2012, you saw like NFC tags at restaurants and stuff. They were trying to do some cool stuff with it. It just never, the QR code kind of took over. I don't know why. Maybe it works
Simpler
more
to
reliably.
implement.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's simpler to implement.
All right. For Mac OS users, if you're among the Mac OS users experiencing some weird issues with your Logitech mouse, good news. Logitech has now released a fix This comes after multiple Reddit users reported that Logi Options Plus, the app required to manage and configure the controls on Logitech accessories, had stopped working, preventing them from using customized scrolling features, button actions, and gestures. So if you're on Mac OS and this happened to you, there is a fix for it. They brought out last week. Here is something interesting. Nick, you probably into this also.
Mhm.
After Congress approved President Donald Trump's package eliminating federal funding, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting voted to dissolve after 58 years, rather than continue to exist and potentially be vulnerable to future political manipulation or misuse. The shutdown leaves hundreds of local public TV and radio stations facing an uncertain future. That's coming
Not that
from
part
Variety.
is not true. But yeah, the CBP shut down. They lost their funding. They had the option to go out and privately fundraise. I guess they chose that would be too much work. They'd actually have to do something and not just get a check from the federal government every month. So they closed down, and all of the member stations, they've already all made up their most of them have made up their funding loss from CBP. So things will continue to operate. Probably less headache for these stations now. They don't have to deal with some entity telling them what to do and how to do it.
But that has nothing to do with NPR.
It
Does
is.
it?
Yeah,
It is?
It's
Oh.
explicitly. Yeah. This Corporation for Public Broadcasting was providing some level of funding to NPR and PBS stations across the country, depending on how big your station was, how much money you were receiving. Like here in Wilmington, the local NPR affiliate, I think they were receiving around $80,000 a year. Maybe it was 100 from CBP. It's a significant amount of money, but they said, hey, we're going to do a fundraising drive to raise the money, and they raised like double what they needed. So it all worked out.
Interesting.
And let's be clear, CBP could have continued to operate. They would have had to go out and fundraise. They chose not to. So they shut the doors.
I wasn't aware that SanDisk had to do with Western Digital. SanDisk is retiring the WD Blue and WD Black SSD brands and replacing them with a new Optimus line that carries the same model numbers as its predecessors. The move follows Western Digital's late 2023 decision to split into two companies, one retaining the WD name for hard drives sold to NAS and data center customers, the other reviving SanDisk for solid-state storage. That separation effectively unwound WD's $19 billion acquisition of SanDisk a decade earlier. I guess it's been so long ago, forgot about that. But yeah, the black and the blue was the low end. I don't understand.
Yeah, that was more hard drive though. This is SSDs.
No, they're saying the WD Blue and WD Black SSDs. They do away with it. But the blue was the low end. There was blue, then there was black, and then there was red, right?
Correct.
And
Yes.
actually the green was the worst, the slowest.
But those were the 5,000 RPM instead of...
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a difference here. We're not talking about their spinning drives. We're talking
Right.
about their SSDs.
Yeah.
Well, they had used
The same.
used the same marketing.
Yeah,
So,
but it was a little. But it's different, obviously, with SSDs. Yes, you can use better or worse.
We're using grade B products instead of grade A products.
Yeah.
No, I remember that was. Oh yeah, I've got the blue. I've got the black.
Up until I had my computer fully with SSDs or M.2s, I always had a WD Black spinning drive. They were very reliable, fast, somewhat affordable. They were expensive, but still.
Oh yeah, there
practically
was a
affordable.
yellow too. That was the Enterprise, the yellow one.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember all of them, but the blacks were always
also-
great.
There were also surveillance drives
Oh,
that
you're
go
right.
into
Yeah.
DVRs, and I still have my wired security cameras that are running on that, continuously operating, continuously
Yep.
recording
Yep.
drive. Yeah.
Yep.
Highly reliable but slow.
Okay, how many of you knew about this? Came from Dave's Computer Tips. Windows Reliability Monitor. Go to your keyboard. Start
Yeah.
do Windows and R to start. Do CMD, and and then type PerfMon, like Performance
Yeah.
Monitor /REL.
All
that-
one word.
Well, no, it doesn't. Yeah, you can do it one word. It works. Perform
Not recognized.
per.
I got it running. Yep.
Yeah, it'll start a graphical interface and show you when your computer had problems. It's a graph,
Yeah.
and you can click on those X's and see which program caused it.
Yeah, that's the every time the machine goes into blue screen.
Well, I
right,
mean,
it
this is
writes-
this is
hold on.
yeah, okay.
Every time the machine goes into blue screen, it writes a mini log, a mini dump log, and those are tracked by the OS. And what you're describing is just the interface that's built in to open it up and take a look at it. It's always been there.
I love it. I'm looking at mine. It says Microsoft Copilot stopped working.
Yeah,
Because and it shows the time that I actually deleted it.
the weird thing is, I looked at mine, and there were four of those. They were all Adobe PDF reader, and I'm saying, what? And I tried. I opened it. Everything worked okay, but I refreshed the thing, and it said, "Yep, it just failed." So there's
Yeah, but-
something there.
So
This is normal,
You-
though. I mean,
yeah, I mean the problem there is you installed that Adobe Reader, right? That's the problem. But,
my big one is Adobe crash report process stop. That's my big critical event that happens multiple times a day. So I don't know what
Yeah,
is
it's interesting.
breaking.
anyway, there's nothing new. It's been running there. It's been there for ages. But what?
Yeah,
what triggers it?
The
Well, like,
article
why-
the article said that it's been there forever, but not many people know about it, and you don't know how to use it.
I see.
There's nothing to click on.
Yeah, it's
It looks like you can get there by going through the control panel.
I
Yeah, you can just search for a performance monitor and it'll come up
Yeah.
in Windows.
Yeah,
'Cause I used the command line, what you suggested, but when it popped up, it showed the string of how to get there through control panel.
Could be
Yeah.
useful. I would say don't
yeah. Don't
make any dramatic changes because of stuff being in there. I mean, if you one of the oldest scams in the book, when these fake
Yeah.
IT guys call you to
Right.
fix your computer, that's what they do. They
Yeah.
go and look at these logs and go, "Oh, wow, did you see
event
that
log. Yeah,
event? Oh, wow, look at this, a Windows update
Yeah.
failed, and that you've got 30,000 of these errors. We got to wipe your computer." So
Yeah.
just be careful with it.
yeah. But it's nice to know and to see if there's something. I mean, he explained it in the article that you can click, see what it is, and see if you have a problem with that program.
Yeah, but it
And-
doesn't work. I mean, I've had this same problem with my computer for a year now that I still don't have a solution for, and
Yeah.
there's nothing useful in Event
So
Log.
this
There's
is still-
nothing useful in Performance Monitor. I mean, it's just nothing useful.
You still have that problem that you have to reboot every.
Yep. Sometimes multiple times a day.
Hmm.
Yep. Just
Right.
still don't have a good way to wipe everything and restart.
What's the
I'm not-
command line for going to the bad choices monitor?
The what?
The bad choices monitor.
Oh,
Sorry, but you made a bad
right.
choice. You should have selected this instead of that.
Another sad situation. Stack Overflow's monthly question volume has collapsed from
Yep.
200,000 questions to about 300.
That's the power of AI, baby. No reason to go to
Let-
Stack Overflow.
Levels not seen since the
do not
site
agree.
launched. What?
I think it's a good thing because anybody who's been using Stack Overflow from the providing answers side, right? If anybody was had a bit more what they call like their points, right? Their experience points. If you had like more than, I don't know, 200 experience points, you get 100 while just by registering if you're already around the ecosystem, but then you build up your reputation points. If anybody there had above 200, then most of the new questions that were coming in were useless. Were repetition, where people would just don't search. They'll just ask. So yes, it's a good reduction in this particular case, I would say. I don't think it's that's probably the benefit of AI and not a rudimentary issue. Now that site can focus on actually interesting questions. The
That's a
real
good point.
question is, right?
Huh?
Will the experts still
Stay there.
be around? And I'm
Yeah.
thinking if the volume of the questions reduced and the quality goes increases, then yes, then that might be the case.
I had a situation this week where I needed some help with a new printer that I bought. I put some new drums and toner in it, and the printing was not aligned. The colors were off, and everything looked terrible.
Mhm.
So I did a Google search for it, and then I also did a Chat GPT prompt. Same question, brother, whatever the hell the model number was. Color prints not in alignment, something like that. And the Chat GPT response was far superior than the first three results. Not the Google AI result, but the first three website results. One was brother.com, which did not have a full guide. It was just one step, and it didn't really have a good explanation. And then the other two were very similar. And the Chat GPT response, even though it wasn't 100% accurate with the instructions, had a much better provided a much better guide.
And did it fix it?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Good.
Yep. I was able to run some auto calibration a couple of times. It instructed me to pull the drums out and slightly shake them from side to side,
The tone,
and
yeah.
that cleared it up. So,
All right.
it's interesting now that I try, whenever I think about it and I'm not in a rush to solve something, I try and do that. I do a Google search and do the same prompt and see kind of what gets me. And it's kind of a mixed bag. I'd say it's maybe 50-50. Sometimes the Chat GPT response is better. Other times the first response or second response on Google is better. Just depends.
Okay. All right.
But I think a lot of people are turning to Chat GPT for those prompts. And a lot of it is because Google has ruined search. Their AI is freaking terrible. and it's terrible.
Yeah, it's all in the name of let's get better faster. Let's get better faster.
You're providing bad information. I mean, it's verifiably false information that's coming up, and then the SEO or the way that it's ranking websites just doesn't seem to be any good either. The responses are terrible.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think it's temporary, and we're going to get this same enshittification on ChatGPT very shortly. And the reason I'm saying it, I'm not even being facetious here. I'm trying to see accurately how this is going. Google was the awesome tool until it became everybody's marketing tool.
That's
And when
fine.
it became everybody's marketing tool, then it was a battle between SEO and the Google algorithm, right? And so this number one, because Google has become this ubiquitous entity, right? Then that became the number one target to try to manipulate. And now it's going to be ChatGPT. It's going to be something else. I mean, this is by definition why my gut reaction is I will not use ChatGPT as the main tool. I will only use it as a secondary or tertiary tool. I will use the smaller tools first, even though they're less accurate, they're at least less targeted by manipulation, right? They are sifting through the data, but they're not dealing with anything targeted at them. So it's like that's my gut reaction seeing technology throughout. That's why I stopped using Google as my main search engine, right? Like years now. Uh, I chose DuckDuckGo. It doesn't matter which one, right? But it's the same thing. By the way, if you want to try out an AI prompt, go to duck.ai. That's DuckDuckGo interface, where it just lets you select which engine to pass the question through. And you do
Oh,
not need to register. It's just based on your cookies. So clear up the cookies every once in a while, and you're fine. So you're gonna be at least uh, you're getting at least a cleaner view of the landscape. Uh, Still muddied. It's still problematic. It's still gonna be manipulated. But trust me, if you stick to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever single engine you're gonna use, you're basically exposing yourself more and trusting something more, even though it probably shouldn't be trusted at all. So it's
can I throw something at you? And
yeah.
I'm not saying this is my opinion, but one of the how do I word this? Not a benefit. One of the features of these of using an AI prompt regularly with an account where you're registered, where it knows who you are, is that it learns. You train it. If you ask it how to do something and it doesn't give you a response that is suitable, maybe it's too complicated, and you have to keep telling it this is too complicated, dumb it down. Eventually, and it doesn't take very long, it learns. Okay, Gal wants the instruction on how to fix this, but I need to dumb this down for Gal. I need to make this as simple as possible. You don't you don't get that when you're not using something regularly. To me, that's one of the key benefits of AI, and one of the I use it for a lot of uh, compression, summarizing things of that nature for work, and it has learned how I want things summarized. Like, to me,
I,
that's the benefit. That's the winner.
I get that, but if you're going to do it with a specific engine, I wouldn't do it with the number one engine.
That's fair. That's
That's
very
what I'm
fair.
saying.
Okay.
Okay, that's number
Yeah.
one. Mainly because that number one. So when we're dealing with a number one in these scenes, when they grow and they become ubiquitous to the term, they no longer. You are definitely no longer the customer. You're the product. Okay, so I would rather go with anybody that's taking them as a template of technology and saying, okay, we have a different focus. So they will be worse. They will not provide me the best possible output, obviously initially. So I would definitely, if I should guide someone, is yeah, don't use those. If you're a big company and you're looking for the best, and then you're already like in some sort of some sort of position where you need your people to to be frictionless, and you might have some uh, some access, some ability to negotiate terms of how this data of yours is processed and all that. But it's not when we're just the single person versus Goliath. I would say, yeah, I wouldn't use the big one just because I can't trust what happens there anymore. I never used to be this guy until, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, where I started understanding the magnitude of the amount of data that we are just bleeding out and the way it has been cynically used against us, right? In the beginning, if you take something like Google or Gmail, they were creating technology, they were exploring themselves what can be possible, and the goal was, okay, let's see what else we can do and what else we can provide you. And they started tracking us and providing us all of the information and everything about it. But at a certain point, being the product of this has become a way of like surgically targeted on a military intelligence level, right? So it needs to stop somewhere, and that's why I'm saying that. And AI came out in an era where we already know this, like by experience, not just by the not just by the wild prophets shouting that the end of the days are coming, right? So that I think the paranoia. Uh, let's ask this: like, if everybody tells you you're paranoid, but as somebody is actually after you, are you still paranoid? Right? I mean, we already know that we are being used, so I would limit the exposure.
Okay.
Plus, the big company is number one is going to become complacent in a lot of ways, just because they're we're
Right.
number one. They don't think
Exactly.
about how do we stay number one. They think, well, let's capitalize on what we are right now.
Totally agree.
All right. Um, John was asking no, I'm sorry, not John. Let me get out of this.
Alan?
Alan, yeah. He says, I have a machine that takes forever to start up, a long time to load programs, but once they are running, everything works fine. I see two things that can cause that. One is slow hard drives, because it takes forever to load it, but once it's in memory, everything works okay. But if it is, and even if it's not, the best thing to speed up booting is to go to the task manager and the startup and really disable any program that is being loaded, not the utility, not the service, but any program that, like they put everything, hey, start this and Edge and Chrome and all that. They don't need to start. Disable them. If you need them, then you start them. Of course, then it's going to take time, longer time to come up, but that will speed up your booting process. I'm sure, Alan, I mean, you're technical enough that I'm sure you already done this. This is for the benefit of everybody else. Just go
Yep.
Control Alt Delete, go to Task Manager, click the Startup tab. You can sort the programs according to their status and see what's actually being loaded. And all you have to do is just click on it and say disable, 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 and restart. You'll be surprised.
And there's one other side of this too.
Okay.
That is a much harder thing to do than what you just described, Amnon. And it's depending on how old your Windows install is. Sometimes it is time for a refresh.
Yes.
I know it's easier said than done. I've been dealing with a problem now for a year and still have not reinstalled Windows. I get it.
Yep.
But I'm in the same boat. I've disabled almost everything on startup, and my computer takes forever to reboot. It's just it's a bloated Windows install.
Spence.
Yep.
You mentioned a while back a feature that is on by default that once you disabled it, sped up like a slow boot on some machine. And I think it's like counterintuitive because it's like smart startup or something like that.
Quick
You
start.
remember that?
Yeah, quick
Yeah.
start.
Yeah. It's what it does is it writes to memory or writes to disk what's running in the background. So when you start the machine, it just pulls from that instead of starting all the individual. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it right, but if you want to do, when you restart your machine, if you do a shutdown and restart, it uses this quick start feature. If you use restart, it starts from scratch. So it's a way to make the machine boot faster.
So disabling that might also be something you're looking for.
If you disable it, well, what it could do is it could be that the information that's there could be corrupted. And if you do a restart, it does a clean start. Maybe that will clean up some of the things that it's running into. Possible. But I always knew that if somebody was having a wonky experience, turn that off, or at least do a restart, because then you're starting fresh. There's nothing that's cached that is pulled in without it actually being examined.
Okay. Microsoft is kind of giving in to this. Microsoft is testing a new Windows policy that lets IT administrators uninstall Microsoft Copilot from managed devices. The change rolls out via Windows Insider built and works through standard management tools like Intune and SCCM. And this is coming from Bleeping Computers. So
Yeah, they
everybody's
have no choice.
what?
They have
It'll
no
stay?
choice. No, like it'll stay.
Microsoft has no choice.
Yeah, Microsoft has.
Yeah, I mean,
That keeps
because-
hijacking so many machines. They keep here's the question: if they can take it off, but then they keep it off
well, we'll see.
because new updates
Well-
it pops up again.
A group policy will keep it off, and the reason I say they have no choice is, okay, I want AI. Let's say I completely want AI, but doesn't mean I want Copilot, right?
Yeah.
And so they can't push it. I think this is one thing they actually did wrong in incorporating their AI based solution API, right? Instead of saying, you know what, we will provide AI. We'll be the best at it. Let's say, right? They'll position themselves, but we'll give you a choice. We'll make it open, right? You want to hook it up to Claude? Go ahead and hook it up to Claude. That's what they did when they started, right? They were this. You'll write the software. We'll provide the OS, and you'll get the best experience, right? And you'll run it on any hardware you want. But
Not anymore.
they're trying to be Apple, and
Yeah.
and the people who chose to use like if I need to choose this bad apple or this bad apple, right? Pun intended. Then I will probably choose with the one that most people are using. But if I chose the other because it was different, right? And now you're trying to be the same, you're losing me. Don't do that. So Copilot, yeah, it was dead on arrival. I think everybody saw it. Everybody talked about it. Microsoft didn't listen, and they sunk way too much effort into it.
But look
we'll
at this is their second attempt. I mean, Cortana was just as big of a flop, and I know that wasn't exactly the same as Copilot, but it was similar in the aspect of the things that it did, their incessant need to ram it down the consumer's throat.
Yep.
It was a disaster with Cortana as well. That also sucked, and you couldn't uninstall it, and you would, and it would reinstall constantly. It was just
That was
a mess.
more of like an automated attendant than it was AI.
It doesn't matter
for
what
sure.
it is. It's the point.
But it was just as annoying. But
Yeah.
Microsoft recently said they're pulling back from development of Copilot. They're de-emphasizing it because they're realizing that their market share sucks.
Which
It
is
does,
insane
yeah.
because it's literally available on every single
Yeah,
computer.
and people keep deleting it. So it's like, well, if they know how to. But that's why it was funny this morning under the performance monitor that it showed, oh, Copilot stopped working today at this time. Yeah, that's when I deleted it again.
Well, I can tell you one key combination that has been killing me is the Windows C, Windows button on the keyboard and C. Don't try it. It just brings up Copilot, and it's annoying as hell.
If it's
And
not there, does it install it?
I don't. That's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it does.
Yeah.
It's just annoying. Like
You know what else
and I use those combinations for other things, and it takes over. And like it's like so.
You know what else is? I mean, Copilot. I'm not worried. It's you. There's uninstall it. But Amazon, Rufus. I didn't look into how to disable it yet. I mean, when you go and you search for something, right away the screen gets smaller, and on the left side, Rufus comes up and gives you a bunch of different results of something.
Where are you
And
seeing
Probably in the
this?
last-
It's
yeah,
on the
probably
left
past
side
few
of the
weeks.
screen on
Oh, yeah.
on Amazon.
It does. It opens up a separate,
separate column, like
I wouldn't call
Window.
it a window. But
Yeah. And there is an icon, 3 dots, but there's nothing there to disable it or.
Yeah.
So I never really looked into how to do it permanently because, okay, you close it and you go and you do your things and everything is okay. But every time you start another search, it just comes up.
They must be slowly rolling that out because I still don't see that on my end. I haven't seen it yet.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just like slow rollout.
Nick, open brand. You're using Chrome, Edge. What are you using?
Yeah, Chrome Incognito.
Yeah, try Incognito without any extensions though.
Oh, what you mean, like an ad block?
Yeah.
But then let's see, Dell computer. Yeah, I don't see it here. I'm not logged in. Maybe that's why.
It's you type something and it brings up the results full screen, right?
Yeah.
And then on the left side of the screen, suddenly the screen will shrink down about 2-3 inches, and there'll be a column of Rufus.
I'm not seeing it. I do see on Amazon there is a Rufus button that is at the top left, but I've never clicked it and I don't want to because I don't want it to turn on.
Anyway.
All right, I just wanted to give a quick update on the experience I had with the Lenovo Mini.
Oh, yeah.
I did get Amazon to actually authorize a return, but decided not to do it. And for this is why, because this machine was designed for Windows 10. And I've decided now that I'm going to put Windows 10 on here and get OPatch and let it manage it, because this would be much simpler for me from a support perspective too, to get it to work. But now that I stripped all that stuff off, the Windows 11 installation there, it is so fast. It starts in 15 seconds. It comes up to the login screen. Before, it took minutes before it got to that point. With the other interesting thing was I ran Bell Arc Advisor. I just wanted to find out, well, what key codes are on here? Nothing. Windows 11 is listed as all zeros. So this was the machine with the A4 processor in it that is not supported by Windows 11. And it's like a 2019, 2020 introduction by Lenovo. And they were selling it as Windows 11 Pro workstations on Amazon. And it isn't. I mean, you couldn't run updates. It was locked. The only drivers you could see that were listed were Windows 10 drivers from 2019. So it was definitely not usable as Windows 11.
Interesting.
But now that it's 10 and I'm going to use OPatch, get a subscription for this, I think it'll work just great.
Hey, install Linux, man.
No, this is there. I checked. There is a JAWS version for Linux, but I can't expect Larry to go through that experience. I need to make it easy for him.
I just put an article in the chat. I know we're running late, but it was an article from TechSpot I saw this week. The headline: Windows 11 performs worse than older Windows versions in nearly every benchmark. So that ties up very well with your long boot times and then everything else.
All right. It's this time of day.
Toodaloo.
Anything else anybody wants to bring up real quick?
No.
Guess not. All right. So, thanks, Gal. I didn't expect you to show up. That's great. And thanks, Nick. Spence. Katie, are you still there or you
I'm here.
sleeping?
I'm here, just chilling.
Are you doing work?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. This was fun. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. And change any same password wherever you use them. Do that. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at Computers 2K Now. Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT 107.9 FM and on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Carolina Journal News Hour, if you're not in Charlotte, that is, and you get all the details. And Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m., Nick hosts the Nick Craig Show at nickcraig.com. Go to nickcraig.com and you get all the information about where to listen and download past programs. Have a great week, and we'll be back together next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.